Good evening. This is Dominic with TheBackVlog. It is almost 6 p.m. Usually I record these videos at almost 6 a.m. So that's I'm switching it up a little bit. About a week ago, my fiance and I watched a Korean cooking show called Culinary Class Wars, the first season of it. And I don't really have much to say because it's just a cooking show, and I haven't seen very many cooking shows, so take this with a grain of salt. But this show gets super intense. The way that it starts out, it slowly, obviously, because it's like a cooking competition, weeds out all of the contestants. But the beginning of the show starts off with upwards of 100 cooks, I think it is, and it's a spectacle to see how many go down at once. And referring to the title Culinary Class War, the main draw of this show is that you have basically, they're not really teams, it's just individual chefs, but their colors, either the black spoons or the white spoons, I'm sorry about that, kind of have to do with their notoriety as a chef. So all the white spoons are, first of all, they're named. You actually know their names. All the black spoons are kind of given some kind of monikers to describe what they're kind of known for, what their specialties are or something. But yeah, the white spoons actually have names because they've fully established themselves as cooks in their careers, while the black spoons still literally have to make a name for themselves. You have the difference between a very established cook and an amateur that kind of feeds into the class war thing a little bit. I think honestly that's probably the main point, but there's a lot of challenges in here too that kind of hampers on the name Culinary Class War, because I remember there's this one challenge where they basically challenge the survivors at that point to cook something just from supermarket ingredients and stuff. And it's actually really interesting to see because the white spoons, who are not used to shopping at supermarkets, have generally a tougher time than the black spoons do, because that's kind of what the black spoons were so accustomed to. I thought that was really interesting, kind of how they threw an interesting spin, a very interesting socially conscious spin on a cooking show. Another thing I really find interesting are the two judges in this show. One of them is just kind of like a restaurant tycoon manager or something, and the other one's just a very prominent Korean chef. But it seems that they don't organize the challenges. I don't know who organizes the challenges, but sometimes the judges themselves are kind of surprised by the challenges. So it's as much of a mystery for them as it is for the actual contestants as well. I think it was just really fun. It's a very intense show. The editing is a little bit weird, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing, the way that it's edited, but there's several times throughout the show they'll loop some sort of reveal or something for what I think is the hype factor. So it's they'll say this is the name of the ingredient, this is the name of the ingredient, the name of the ingredient, on a loop, and it's really funny. And it's also the editing, and I don't know if it's like this for just cooking shows in general. And it probably is, because, cooking shows kind of have to have some sort of engagement and retainment. But it seemed that the editing was actually kind of out of chronological order. And you don't really notice that unless you're paying attention to what people are saying. But they're kind of organizing it in a way to add dramatic tension, but in reality, that's not really, I don't believe, how it occurred, which I think that's just that's just a symptom of reality television to begin with. But overall, this show was really interesting. If you're into cooking shows, and there's a second season coming out in December, we're definitely going to see that. I'm excited to see what they do. There was a lot of references to, well, not references, it's just people mentioning Squid Game, but it did have kind of a Squid Game vibe to it, where, I mean, first of all, you do have the whole socially conscious thing. The kind of like elimination process, the mass elimination process. Obviously, people aren't dying in this show, but it is like contestants en masse getting eliminated from a competition. And there's like a very kind of like dystopian sounding announcer for the show too. But yeah, it's really great. Check it out.